Life throws a lot at us, right? But what if all that hardship wasn't just something you have to get through? What if it's actually the tool for building a stronger you? We're going to walk through a blueprint for a resilient life, and it's way less about just thinking and all about doing. So let's jump right in.
So it really kicks off with a question that, let's be honest, we've all asked it. Why does this stuff happen? Why do we have to go through hard times? It can feel so random, so unfair, sometimes just pointless. But the whole foundation of what we're talking about today is about completely flipping that idea on its head.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to cover the purpose of trials, the path to wisdom, the anatomy of temptation, this huge thing called the action principle, and then what true practice really looks like. Let's get to it.
Okay, Section 1. The purpose of trials. This is all about turning hardship into character. We're basically going to shift our whole viewpoint, Instead of seeing tough times as something to run away from, we're going to see them as the very thing that forges who we are.
And the main idea here is, well, it's simple to say, but not always easy to do, right? The point is, don't run from tests and hardships. Embrace them. The best way to handle this stuff isn't to try and dodge it, but to actually face it, head on. The goal is to lean into these challenges, to embrace them, because of what they create in you.
And check this out. This is the path to maturity. It's like a formula for real growth. First, you embrace the hard stuff. That process, it develops something crucial, true patience. We're talking real, steadfast endurance here. And that patience is what gets you to the final step, becoming complete, wanting for nothing. You see, the trials themselves are the engine for your growth. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, so just powering through isn't enough. You need more than just grit, right? You need a guide. And that leads us right into our next part, the path to wisdom, how to actually navigate this journey.
Now, this is so important to get. We tend to think that wisdom just happens. You get older, you go through some stuff, and boom, you're wise. But that's not what we're talking about here. True wisdom isn't gained from age or hard knocks. It's something you receive by asking for it. Think about that. It's the ability to live life well, to make good choices, and it's not something you earn, it's a gift that's given freely to anyone who just asks. And here's the catch, you could say. To get that wisdom, you have to have a single-minded commitment. Look at the two sides here. On the left, you've got someone who's anchored. They're stable, they're clear, they get what they need. But on the right, that's someone with a divided loyalty. They're like a ship just lost at sea, getting thrown around by every single wave, totally dizzy and confused. When your mind is divided, your compass is basically useless.
Talk about a divided mind, it leads us right into the internal battle we all face. That's our next section, the anatomy of temptation. Because if you want to be resilient, you absolutely have to know where this stuff really comes from. And the answer is crystal clear. The source of temptation is never external. God does not tempt anyone. It's not your situation. It's not the people around you. Nope. The source is a lot closer. It's inside of us. And this process, it's a cycle of destruction, and it's totally predictable. It all starts when a person is carried away by their own desire. That's step 1. Then that desire gives birth to sin. That's step 2. And finally, when that sin is fully grown, it produces death. It's a tragic but very clear progression that starts right inside our own hearts and minds. Okay, now we're getting to the absolute heart of all of this. Section 4 is the action principle. This is it. This is where all the talk stops and the walking begins. The message couldn't be simpler. Don't just hear, do.
And listen, this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's a straight-up warning. If you think hearing is what matters most, you have been deceived. If you think just listening to good stuff or nodding along is enough, you're literally lying to yourself. Knowledge that you don't use? It's a trap.
And this quote just nails it. 1 minute, they look in the mirror, and the next, they forget who they are and what they look like. I mean, what a perfect picture of this, right? Hearing the truth and doing nothing about it is exactly like glancing in a mirror, seeing your face, and then turning away and instantly forgetting what you look like. It makes looking in the first place totally pointless. So you've got these two people, right? The hearer only versus the doer. And the difference is just night and day. The person who only listens, they deceive themselves, they forget what they see, and they get distracted by everything. But the doer, the one who actually puts it all into practice, they live by the truth, they stick to the path, and they are blessed in their action. It's in the doing that the blessing is found.
All right, so we've established that doing is everything. But what does that actually look like, in real life? That's what we're covering in our last section, the definition of true practice. We're talking about things you can actually see and do.
First, let's talk about what useless religion is exposed by. It's pretty simple. 2 dead giveaways, an uncontrolled mouth, and a self-important heart. Basically, how you talk and how you see yourself. If your words are out of control and you think you're better than everyone else, it shows your practice is worthless.
So what's the answer? What is real, true religion? Here it is, the culmination of this whole thing. It boils down to 2 incredibly practical things: caring for orphans and widows who are suffering and resisting the evil influence of the world. That's it. It's not about complicated rituals, it's about practical compassion for the vulnerable and keeping yourself clean. It's all about looking outward.
So, there you have it. The blueprint is laid out. Hardship is for building character. Wisdom is a gift for anyone who asks. Temptation starts inside you, and just hearing this stuff means nothing if you don't do it. Now that you've seen the blueprint, what are you going to build?